recently I've found a number of products that actually provides a really nice casual daily wear look that isn't over the top, doesn't dry out your skin, and gives a nice dewy finish for the entire day. So I wanted to share that with you because I've recently sort of adopted this as my go-to for not so much my everyday look, but if I'm going out for maybe coffee with a friend or I'm expecting to come in contact with, other humans, this is my go-to makeup routine that is super quick, super simple, and it's affordable. So let me show you what the products are and how they look. Let's get started. First of all, I've got these two amazing primers. Now, normally I don't even use primer. I kind of just use moisturizer and go, but I couldn't resist because these two were on special from an Amazon sale, from a Prime Day sale, and I wanted to give it a try. So this is the NYX brand, and we've got the Marshmallow Primer, which actually smells divine, and the texture is actually that of marshmallow. And we've also got the NYX Bright Maker Primer, which is a papaya-based primer, so it actually smells like papaya as well. So I'm actually going to use the papaya one, so the Bright Maker under the eyes, so on the areas where we need a little bit more brightening. And it is only a small bottle, so I would go very easy on sort of what areas. I'll be quite selective on what areas that I want to apply this on. Now, it does say on the packaging that you can wear it on its own or underneath makeup. So if you've got really, really good skin and no blemishes whatsoever and you don't want to put foundation on, you can just wear it and then put powder on. Same with the Marshmallow Primer, which I will apply to the rest of the face. Now, some people like to use brushes to apply, but finger's always faster. Oh, it smells so good. It smells really, really good. And the texture, it's like a moussey sort of, oh, look at that. Like it smells so good. It's a moussey, marshmallowy sort of texture as well. Glides on really well, and it's not super thick like some other primers that I've had in the past. Next, we've got the Infallible Total Cover Concealer Palette. And the L'Oreal Infallible range is one that I've fallen in love with recently. This palette is so creamy and amazing. I've had palettes before that's dried out on the skin really easily, but I find the L'Oreal Infallible range, like all of their products are really creamy, as you'll see in some of the other products I recommend today. So this is the palette. So normally these palettes, these concealer palettes only have 4 shades, but they have 5. So you've got your brightener, the peachy tone ones for under the eyes, your purple, the dullness, and your green for the redness. If you've got a lot of problem areas, this is savior. Now, usually I don't use concealer palettes, but on days where I'm particularly tired or have blemishes or anything that I feel is particularly bad that day, then this is my go-to. Let's get the peachy tone for under the eyes. Some people like to apply the color correction after foundation. I find if you do it before, you do need to give it a little bit of time to settle before you apply anything else on it so it doesn't smudge. And a little trick that I've learned when it comes to color correction is once you've applied the color correction, put a tiny little bit of powder to settle it, maybe even some light setting spray. Wait a little bit before applying your foundation and it actually stays on a lot smoother for the day, even your foundation. So I'm just applying a little bit of the peachy tone, so this one here under the eyes, just to get rid of those signs of sleepless nights. So next up, we've got the L'Oreal Infallible range of the foundation and blush sticks. These are the holy grail of makeup, in my opinion, because these are the creamiest foundation ever. Now, I've always been a fan of matte makeup, like makeup that doesn't have any shine to it whatsoever. I found that recently, and the trend seems to be going that way as well. The dewy sort of makeup look is a lot better. So not too much shine, just a little bit of a glow so that it looks like your skin is nice and hydrated. And that's the look that matte makeup can't really provide. Plus, I feel like matte makeup kind of makes you look a little bit older than the dewy kind. The dewiness just kind of makes it a little bit more natural. So I've really been enjoying that look. And these foundation and blush sticks and contouring sticks from the L'Oreal Infallible range, they provide that look. They really give off that dewy, creamy finish. So I've got the foundation one in Radiant Beige. I bought these online, by the way, and it actually matched my skin tone so well. And this is how quick and easy and simple it is. So I'm gonna go in and just add it. I don't even need to use a lot. I'm just gonna apply it. And I'm going in more an upwards motion because you want that lifted effect. And I'm also gonna go in now with the blush. So this is the Rosy Nude blush. I'm gonna show you what I do. Just so when I blend it, it all blends nicely. I'm just gonna follow that along and up. So up. And now we blend with a sponge. Now, some people do like to use a wet sponge to blend. Some people do find it a bit easier. This is a new sponge as well, so it's a little bit hard. I'm blending sort of around the blush areas first. For those of you who are into heavier makeup, you might also want to get darker colors for contouring. Some of you might prefer to, for example, use a darker color here, around here and underneath the cheekbones, so that when you blend it, it will all blend in nicely and provide that contour. I leave it last so it doesn't get lost in with everything else. Done. And that gives off like a nice natural finish that's not too much, you know, like blush here and a line here and then another shadow here. But this is how simple it is. Just with these sticks, rather than the wet ones where you kind of have to like put it on the back of your palm and use a little brush or like dab it a little bit, like it's just so over the top. This, so simple, just wipe, and then blend, done. So next I'm gonna go in with the concealer for any bits that I feel like I've missed. So these are the 3 concealers that I'll be using today. The NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum, the Revlon Photo Ready Concealer Stick, and the NYX As If Concealer Stick. Now the NYX stick is the best concealer I've ever used out of all of the concealers, including the really popular Tarte ones and all of the luxury expensive branded ones. But I've been trying to look for these everywhere and they just do not have them anymore. If any of you know where you can get the NYX concealer stick from, please let me know because it is seriously the best one I've ever used. Glides on smooth, stays on the whole day, doesn't sit into your creases, doesn't dry your skin out, and it has awesome coverage, but hard to find. Revlon Photo Ready is a very close second and it's the one that I go to when I don't want to overuse the other one. The only thing I find with it is that it can dry out a little bit quickly compared to the NYX, and the NYX one has a little bit more of a dewy finish. I'm going to test out the serum first because the serum is in liquid form and this is the one that I use for more of a wider concealer or coverage, whereas the stick ones I use for spot blemishes and under the eyes. Little tiny bit. So I'm going to get some of the areas that still has a little bit of redness, just to conceal it a little bit more. And I find this serum is really good because it does cover a wide area and it's liquidy, so it spreads a little bit better. I would go super light with it just so it doesn't ruin like the dewiness of the other makeup and the foundation. Okay, so now for the stick. I'm going to show you with the Revlon one first. I'll show you with the Revlon one on this eye and I'll show you the NYX on this eye so you can see the difference. See that? I just went for a light swipe and I'm going to blend that in a second. So this glided on super smooth, mostly because of the other foundation and the primer that I've put on. Now with the NYX one, it glides on even without all of that. So on bare skin, it will just glide on. And you see like even the tip is a lot smaller, which is why I love this one so much, because the tip can make you have that precision that you want for these sort of shadows. But see the difference? Like you can see the concealer on this eye, but you can't really on this eye. This has already blended itself in pretty much. So but they both provide the same sort of lightness too. All right, so that is the side. This is the Revlon side. And I'm gonna blend this side See, this one I find is so much easier to blend because I kind of blend around it and then I just dab on top just to set it. And this side just sits and blended so well. It's hard to see, but the difference between this eye and this eye is that this eye, the concealer has already started to dry a little bit and you can kind of see the skin that's underneath, whereas this one, the NYX, it looks natural and it almost provides a little bit of a blurry texture so that you can't see the skin underneath. It's just nice and blurred. So that's the concealer part done. Now to finish off is the powder and the setting spray. So these are the powders and setting sprays that I use. The Innisfree No Sebum Mineral Powder. This is my go-to. This is a Korean brand and I've tried all sorts of powders. This is the one I always come back to because it is so lightweight and it doesn't dry your skin out. Then I'm going to finish off with the NYX Dewy Finish long-lasting setting spray. So I'm going to finish off with the powder and I love this one. It comes with a little powder pad as well. I love this one because it's so light and natural. There's a lot of powders out there that say they're light and natural, but then when you put it on, immediately it just sits into every single crease on your face. It dries your skin out. It just looks terrible. But this one just seems to know what it's doing. So I'm going to firstly put it under my eyes. So I'm going to set it the strongest under my eyes first. I'm going to let it sit there. I'm going to go lightly over all the other areas because we do want a dewy finish. And all the products we've just added on were so creamy and dewy, we don't want to ruin it. But I'm going to put the powder on and show you how I bring that dewiness back and spread out evenly. Going a little bit stronger on certain areas just so I can make sure it doesn't appear too powdery. So because I want more of a soft, casual day wear look, this is where I would normally finish. But if I want it to be a little bit stronger, if I'm going out, so if it's sort of late afternoon, heading into evening, and I want the makeup to be a little bit stronger, I will then go in with my palette, my contouring palette, get a little bit of the bronzer, just to define those cheekbones a little bit, add a little bit of contouring here, not too much because I really don't like the heavy makeup look. And that will give that a quick sort of finish. Now for after makeup contouring, my go-to is the Sephora Snow Glow palette, which I absolutely love because it just has everything. It's got your bronzer for contouring, 2 different kinds of highlighter and your blush. And then possibly just go in with some highlighting on the nose. Maybe a little bit, just highlight those. I'll do the eyebrows as well around here. Not really in my recommended list. I feel like the way we do our eyebrows can be very subjective. And done. Unless I'm going for a nighttime look, I don't really put eyeshadow on. But for those of you who do that, obviously put that all on before you set your makeup. So now that I'm done, I will go in and give a spray of this. Usually, the technique, they say, is to spray cross and cross, but it just doesn't work for me. I don't know how to spray across without at the same time pressing down too hard that I end up getting like a big splash in my face. So I just kind of go lightly around just to make sure I've covered everything evenly, and that's it. So you wait for that to dry, and what this does, as you'll see very shortly, it brings back the dewiness that the powder might have taken away. So instead of a matte look, this will give you the dewy finish. The dewy look, like I said, makes it a little bit more youthful, a little bit more fresh, and it just makes it a little bit more of a glow and a little bit healthier than the matte look without making it oily, and it makes the makeup stay for the day. And that is now my new go-to routine for casual daily wear makeup that gives off a nice dewy finish, a nice glow, and provide really good coverage at the same time. And that is all from me today, guys. Thanks so much for listening. If you've got any comments, if you've tried any of the products, or if you've got any questions about the products, please leave a comment below. Please make sure to like and subscribe and follow us on our social media. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Please make sure to follow us, and please follow me as well on my social media. My Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook is stellabella.au. I would love to hear from you and your experiences with these products, or maybe even better products. And especially if you know where I can find this NYX concealer stick where I can buy this from, please let me know because I am dying to get a bulk supply of them. I hope you all have a wonderful and safe week, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Bye.